Hi everybody. Welcome to the acoustic room again. Here we are downstairs in our acoustic room. You know, if you're watching this on Facebook, make sure to push that button, that little, like, it looks like a sprocket, and change it over to high def, and you'll be able to see the guitars with a little better clarity. So we got a couple of guitars in over the weekend, and I just wanted to share you. Today's Monday. Sometimes it takes a few days. All the time it takes a few days to get these videos up, as we post them every few days, and we'd appreciate it too if you liked us. It would help us out. So this is a like new Gibson reissue, and this is mint 2021 60s J50. The J50 and the J45 were the same guitar, period, except the J45 had a sunburst finish like this one. And the reason was the J50 was priced at $50, the J45 was $45 back in the day. Back in the day, you paid an extra $5 for the better wood that had no mineral streakings, and honestly, finding wood that has really nothing in the way of mineral streakings is much harder than you'd think. Go down to your local lumber store and tell them you need some spruce that's this wide. And see the funny looks you get. This is, though, a really nice guitar. It's a fairly big headstock, or fairly big neck. It's true, traditionally these Gibsons that are sloped shoulders, they're a shorter scale length than like the Doves, the Hummingbirds, and the J200s that are a little longer scale length and project a little differently. So that's the J50 and the J45, honestly. We're competing with Martin's D18. It is mahogany bodied, back and sides, Sitka spruce top, and fairly simply adorned. There's a multiple layers of binding on the front and a single layer binding on the back, Clouson tuners, just super high quality wood on both, from both Gibson and Martin. Cool guitar. What does it run? Under $2,000 for one of those. And then we just got in this. This is a jumbo. Looks like a J200, but it's a J150. Gibson came up with the idea of the J150 later on. This is not a historically correct guitar, but by taking away the neck binding, and taking away a little bit of the bling, they can make this guitar cheaper. And so this is kind of like a J200 Junior, you might say. The size is the same. It's a 17-inch body. It's a 25 3/4-inch scale, so it's the longer scale length. And then super flamey back and sides. These are tremendous guitars for volume, and they just really feel. Now these can feed back a little bit on stage when you plug them in because of all those overtones bashing into each other. But I was told years ago by a guy that was a country singer that said, you know, the whole trick to the J200 was that it's all bass and all treble, and the middle is scooped out, and that's the range where the human voice fits in. Now, I don't know if that's true, but it kind of makes sense. So for all you Elvis and Pete Townsend fans and Emmylou Harris fans, these are really cool. Sheryl Crow plays a nice J200. This being a J150 is a little cheaper entry point. This has a pickup in it too, which is going to bring me to this next guitar. This pickup running through this little Fender Vibro Reverb Champ amp. With a 10-inch speaker. These are great amps, actually. Not necessarily the best amps for acoustic, but it's lightweight, so I could carry it downstairs. These really need, with pickups like these, most transducers really need an amplifier that's somewhat padded. You'd want to use a preamp if you're going through your regular guitar amp on one of these. But it does, the pickup does work, and this is a J200. Where a J200 was probably about $45, $55 in the used market, this is $3,500. Super clean with the original hard shell case. Now, this brings me to this other guitar that if you're a Beatles fan, you recognize this as a J160E. Now, the J160E stood, of course, for the pickup. And the Beatles used this because on stage they don't feed back. Now, here's the thing that everybody discovers about this. On your lap, they're not nearly as satisfying. It's like, what? A lot of people will pick up a J160, they're like, oh my God, that's just like the Beatles use. But where these really shine is the fact this has a plywood top and it's ladder braced. Now, does this reissue have a plywood top? Yes, it does. This is exactly like a 60s J160E. If you're doing a Beatles tribute band, if you're doing a live on stage thing, these feed back and they really kind of growl and all these overtones, and they need to be controlled. Where you heard where I plugged in the J150, this has a much more controlled dynamic, and you're able to roll it off. So really is meant for stage. That's what they built this for stage. It's not really about not playing it through an amplifier. They're fairly dry sounding, they're fairly weak sounding, but the good news is that it has a volume and tone control right there. It's easy to operate. You can see, oh, I'm at number 7. So for stage, these things kill. If you're doing a Beatles tribute band, you want to look like John Lennon, this is the guitar to get. They're kind of hard to find. They don't make a ton of them because of its application, but they don't feed back. And that's the deal. You put one of these bigger guitars up next to an amp like this, and you're going to get feedback. The reason is this laminated top and ladder bracing, as opposed to X bracing, like all of these others. This ladder bracing and laminated top kills the top. So the speaker and the top don't react together and start driving each other and creating this feedback. Here I am, the guitar is turned up full blast, right next to an amplifier, nothing. So that's why these J160Es are perfect for the performer. If you're standing on stage with everyone else hooked up to electric guitars and you wanted a guitar that sounded like an electric acoustic, this, my friends, this is it. Let's end there. Thanks a lot.